Mike. We went with the webinar view, which kind of screwed up our tech a little bit. We appreciate your patience, and flexibility.
No problem, man.
How you been? One of the last times I saw you before a family reunion, you had like 2 broken arms at one point or from your motorcycle crash. What happened there?
I know. I fractured five ribs and an ankle. First time went down on my Harley doing 65 miles an hour on the highway.
Wow.
First time in 40 years. I've been driving a street for 40 years. And I went down, and yes, I was down at that those meetings down there. I was all wrapped up. I had to bring my wife with me to soak my skin because I rolled down the highway. So I just have scars, but I'm back.
Well, glad to see you're healthy. You know, the first time I saw you on stage with Gary, I said, this guy energy is amazing. So I'm looking forward to the next 30 to 40 minutes, however much time you can give us.
Awesome. I'm on. It's funny. Just cut it down. You know, the one thing. Are we live now?
We are live. We got about 100 people, but more are still coming on board. So.
Okay, well, welcome. Hi, everybody. I am Mike McCann, the real estate man.
Woo!
But anyway, so you know that Keller culture is growing in me, and there was that saying, "Think big and double it" from Gary.
Yep.
Oh, no. Well, I'm in the process of thinking big and doubling it. I got a 2-hour Zoom thing that I'm working on now for the last 4 weeks. That's big. I just had to cut it short to get on this meeting.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to do that. So, Mike, you've been in the business 30 years. You've sold over 10,000 homes. I think the last number I saw was your 2018 was 800. I'm not sure what your final 19 was.
Right. Yeah, we were 18 wasn't quite 800. It was like, I think it was 700 and some. This year was like 832.
Awesome.
And about 312 million was down actually a little bit. Was down a little bit in the volume, not in transactions.
Gotcha.
But you know, we had that was 19. That was the transition year. We moved over, which I lost.
You lost a lot, right? You left a lot behind.
It took me a couple months to get my listings back. I mean, when I moved over, I had 215 listings and 100 pending deals. And when you leave that other company, you know, they try to hold you hostage.
Right.
So it took me a couple months to get my listing. Could you imagine not having any listings for a month?
Well, you know, it's kind of interesting. Now is a lot like that time. I'm not sure how your market is, but New York State, we're down 95% in listings taken. New Jersey, we're down about 73% in listings taken. So very different cause, right? Yours was by choice. Ours was kind of, you know, a little bit more challenged here. So how do you describe, you've been through a lot of real estate markets. How do you describe what's going on right now?
Okay. Yes, this is be 34 years in June. I'll be in the business. This is my 5th downturn. Everyone is different.
Yep.
When I got in, the market was booming. 86, 85, the markets really came back because prior to me being in, interest rates had been 18, 21% from 79 to about 84. And about 85, the market went down. 85, it picked up. My friends started to buy real estate. So I said, let me get in real estate. And I started to sell real estate. And the market was booming. But about 1990, 89, 90, the market collapsed. And it went down. And that market went down for about 5 or 6 years.
That was the Desert Storm time, right? All those wars overseas.
It was actually, yes, it was the 1989, 90 was the, they changed the tax laws. And then a lot of things happened. And I called it a real estate depression. Because it wasn't every industry, but real estate went down between 20 and 50%. 30% of the agents left actually 30+% of the agents left the business.
Right.
I'm in downtown historic Philadelphia. So I'm in, a little New York. You know, I'm in an urban environment. So I sell row houses, condominiums, and loft space and stuff. So I'm in a downtown environment. But every major firm in 1990 to 91 left Center City, Philadelphia.
Wow.
Paul Banker closed up. Remax closed up. Century 21. Prudential decided to get out of the business. Merrill Lynch decided to get out of the business.
Right.
Crazy time. But I kept struggling around. So I saw all these big shots, people that were builders and agents that were making big money, 86, 87, 88, it's going up 20% a year, who thought they were God's gift, lose everything.
Right.
And I was a new agent in the business, and I was watching people, and I thought, oh my goodness, I'll never let that happen to me. And I just kept plugging away. So 1990, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, you wanted to be the third agent on a listing. Properties were on the market 1 and 2 years. Values were down. But I got my niche going after expired listings. So in a difficult market, you do the things that others can't or won't do. And one of those was agents couldn't sell listings because it wasn't easy now. I became the most educated. So I took classes, and it's so much easier to be educated today.
Yep.
And I also was the hardest working. And today I say, you got to be the hardest, but you have to be the smartest working. And I developed the best reputation within the real estate community. Those are the three things that have allowed me to be the #1 agent in Philadelphia every year since 1988. Not 1 year has anybody beat me. And my gap has gotten bigger. And those are the people say to me, like, why are you so successful? I wasn't born and raised in the environment I didn't come from the environment. I came out of nowhere. But those three fundamentals allowed me to continue to succeed. So in the down market, I just worked harder. And then when the market picked up, I shot to the next level. Awesome. So each downturn, that has happened to me. So right now, it's a nightmare. But, and I've never seen this before. It's different. I think it's going to be a 6 or 9 month downturn. I think we will recover. The demand was incredibly strong. Interest rates are incredibly low. And the inventory is the lowest it's been in over 20 years.
Yeah.
So this is terrible. We're stuck. We're quarantined. We're not allowed out. We can't show a property. It's been 5 weeks. I've been on Zoom. This is probably my 70th Zoom meeting. Oh my God!
Somebody today.
Yeah, my third today, but the whole 2 hour. But it was hard. So I know jumping around, but the reality of it is that we will change. Our industry will change as a result of this. Things will get better and smoother. I was in the market before the internet, and the realtors didn't want the internet to come in because they weren't going to need us anymore. Right. It was going to make us go away the way of a travel agent. Well, you know what the internet did? It made our job so much easier, man. The buyers do half their research or 3/4 of research. They know more than a lot of the realtors. Right. And then they come to us now more than ever. So today, Zoom. Now when people are calling me, I'm like, hey, you have 5 minutes on a Zoom? So I can meet them face to face. That's already changed, man. And when I meet somebody personally, it's like going to that listing appointment. Well, I don't think about selling. Well, let me just meet you. I get to meet with them. I get that listing, and I get them to trust me, and they become my client for life. Well, learn how to Zoom.
Yep.
Well,
it's actually easier, in my opinion, to close someone on a first appointment via Zoom than a first appointment face-to-face, in person, because they don't have to go anywhere to have this appointment. They don't have to really, they can squeeze this in easier, I think.
Yeah, you can. That's what you can do a lot. You can do a lot more. Same with our team meetings. I mean, the Zoom meeting now, instead of everybody trying to get together once a week, we're doing the team, and that's just as effective. Listen, the one thing about Zoom, and I did my first listing on Zoom a day or two before the shutdown. Okay. And I said, I think they're going to shut us down. Probably not a good idea. I said, that's fine. Let's do Zoom. So I did a Zoom listing appointment. And I would never do a listing appointment on the phone or by text or by email. I spent an hour and ended up an hour and 15 minutes on a Zoom. They walked me through their house. They sat down at their table. We talked back to back. At the end of the conversation, it was a $750,000 listing. At the end of the conversation, they said, we're not interviewing anybody else, Mike. Send us the paperwork. Yeah. We formed that bond. So if you're a new agent, experienced agent, whatever, learn how to become an expert on Zoom. We just did a bunch of seminars for my team and for our company to do Zoom now, Zoom Connections.
Now, do you do like the shared screen to go through a listing presentation? What are some of the tools you use in Zoom?
Well, that's That's what we're just learning, because so right now it's just like it's new, and I'm just up and connect you and stuff like that. But I just had one of my younger agents who's more into the tech that just was just showing us how to do the screen. So I have not done that yet. So what I've done is I email and loop them the documents in advance. That's what I've been doing. And but soon I'm going to be able to go over them on the phone if need be.
So do you see this digital first appointment via Zoom being a new part of our sales funnel moving forward? Do you see this staying here for a while?
Absolutely. If it's not, you should make it that, because you do connect. I just can't believe the connection. And our business is about real estate relationships. It's people in residential real estate, they have to like you, they have to trust you. So, and once you have that, you can move mountains. Mm-hmm. So making that connection instead of by phone or by text, it's great to text, hey, I want to see that property. Okay, I'll be glad to show it to you. Do you have a second? Talk to them on the phone by Zoom. Mm-hmm. Man, they're probably not going to reach out to the other 30 people or when those other 30 people get back to them, because now they've met you. Like meeting. It's like me. So it's a new thing I'm telling you, it's going to streamline our industry. Yeah. And I sell properties from 100,000 to 3 million. My average is about 575. So I do the blue collar teacher, first time buyer, and I do the executive. So I'm in all markets, and I'm not a team leader in the sense that I'm sitting back at the office. I am out on this. I personally list 100 to 150 homes myself a year. So I'm out on the street, and that's what I love to do. But the personal contact is the first thing that you have to do, and the faster you do that, the more chance you're going to capture the people.
Awesome. So what are some of the things your team and you're doing in order to find those appointments? Right now in this market, I know it's a little bit different. Some people are nervous. Are there any things you're doing right now in order to generate leads, or at least get face-to-face or ear to phone with your database?
Right. So with the downturn, the first message that we went out to, we communicate through our people through video, through email, through text, and through phone call. And the first thing that I did, as soon as the shutdown occurred, I went out to all our clients and said, hey, this is Mike McCann. I'm not the real estate man right now. Things have changed. You have to stay safe and healthy first. So I put out a compassionate message that if anybody needs anything, we are here. Food delivery or whatever, we are here. That the industry shut down, but that we're here. And then I gave my prognosis on what I believe is going to happen. And now we've been communicating with them. So it's been through video, email blast. I have a 10,000 client base. So it went out to all of them. The current listings I have, another message went out to them. My office, there's 350 agents at KW Philly where I'm affiliated. Message went to them.
Awesome.
And then, of course, to my team. But I have been talking and we've been picking the phone up and talking to more people. So touch and base. I'm not really asking for business right now because I can't do anything. We can't show houses right now. But we are online, but there are people saying, we want to list. No problem. We're sending the documents. We're getting it all set up. And then as soon as the quarantine's lifted, we're going to have our photographers go out there, because we can't send photographers. We can't do anything right now. It's unbelievable, man.
Are you one of the things I've been talking to our people about is we're trying to kind of glimpse ahead. I'm trying to give like a 2-week heads up so we can stay a little bit ahead of our competition. From the work you're doing, the things you're studying, what's your prognosis? And Pennsylvania might be different than New Jersey, but you're in a big city. When do you see Philly lifting that band or Pennsylvania lifting that band?
I was hoping May 1st, but that's not happening, obviously. Most likely, they did just lift on our construction, but we might not be until, I'm hoping mid-May, but it might not be until the end of May. I don't think beyond the end of May. But, in New Jersey, I was speaking to a couple of Jersey agents who were selling stuff because they can still show stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is
one-on-one.
We have people begging us to see stuff. So we're big meds and eds, meaning there's a lot of universities, downtown Philadelphia, and a lot of medical hospitals and schools. Those people are coming in and they need places to live. Many buy, many rent. We can't show them anything. There's a few of our sellers that are doing their own photos, and they want us to put it up anyway, and we'll send them the contract. But the reality of it is, we're getting our ducks in line. The moment that they if they say, okay, May 15th, we're going to be allowed out. I'm going to be setting appointments up, and we're going to be working. And unfortunately, our market was shaping. We sold 90 homes in February. It was our goal was to do 1,000 this year. I said, I'm with Keller. We're doing 1,000 this year. So I set that goal to our team. And we did 90 in February, and we're going to have a great spring market. Now, we're not going to recover what we lost. These 2 months of no sales, that's not coming back. But what I do believe is once we go back, I'm 100% confident, being through, this is my 5th downturn, is that people will start to come back a little bit fearful, a little bit cautious. But right now, the millennial population is about 65% of the market, the first-time buyers, the millennial population. There are more millennials than there were baby boomers, right. 10 million more. So they're in their peak buying age. The inventory is the lowest it's been in 20 years. 20 years. We have such a limited supply of inventory. Interest rates are the lowest in 30 years. So the fundamentals for us to come back is going to be good. Now, unemployment's going to jack up to 20 or 30%. It's going to jack down to 10 or 9%. So, and there are people that are going to be seriously hurt. All of us are losing money.
For some people losing their jobs, they're going to need to sell. So there's going to be people in this that are forced to move in one direction. And I'm seeing that same number you're looking at, 40, 50, 60 million unemployed. So the question is going to be, at what rate does that recover? It won't be quick. It might be a 2 or 3 year recovery there.
It's going to be to recover all the gains that we had accumulated over the last several years.
Even longer.
It's going to be 5 years. It's going to be 5 years. I'm telling you. However, we're not going to be in we're not going to be in 08 to 12. It's not going to be like that long. And our prices are going to stay flat to maybe drop 2 or 3% in some situations.
Not going to see a big drop.
There's not going to be a big drop in prices. There's going to be a little bit of a drop in transactions, but not a dramatic. I don't see. So 9/11 was a 9 month to a year downturn, about a year downturn. Then we rebounded. The dot-com boom was about a 9 month downturn, a bust in 2000. The dot-com bust collapsed the market. It's about 9. It came back. I think this is more in line with that than the 1990s RTC, which the Resolution Trust Corporation downturn, which was 6-7 year. It was 7 or 8 years before we recovered our prices. They dropped so bad. And let me just say one more thing is in this market, people need us today more than ever. So this will remove the people that were in it for the easy money, the people that really didn't invest in themselves. And so you hang in here, you get through this recovery, your business will grow simply because there will be less people in the market and more people will need you. Every downturn I came out of, my business went to the next level. I was not always Mike McCann, the real estate man. I was not always doing 300 million, but every downturn I went to the next level. Yep. So invest in yourself, invest in the people around you, and never, never, never give up. Just keep plugging away. It's the best business in the world.
You had a couple of great messages in there. I think one of them to reinforce is while our available transactions might drop by 20, 25, 30%, our competition will probably drop by 50 or 60% because there will be people that just leave in the industry.
We're not dropping 25%. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Our number of transactions at the most will drop 10% at the most. Mark my words. I don't say things unless I underpromise and overdeliver.
Love it.
I'm telling you, it's not going to happen. It really is not going to happen that dramatically. We will recover from this because fundamentally we were doing great before this virus.
Do you see a trend for the last 6-8 years? People have been leaving the suburbs, going into the cities. Do you see the virus creating that reverse trend? Do you see people now leaving the cities and going to the suburbs?
Yeah, you hear that stuff. Listen, right now, nobody knows anything for sure. And you hear that, they're going to all leave New York because of the crowd environment. They're going to all leave Philly. We're one of the top 5 millennial markets. And It's funny, when I moved into Center City, Philadelphia in the early 80s, mid 80s, my friend said, "You're crazy, you're going to get killed." And then by 2000, it was like, we want to sell our house and be empty nesters and move in town. And it's been growing. And the millennials are just, no, they do not want to be in the suburbs. They finish their college education, they get a job, they rent in the cities, and then they typically will either buy in the city or just rent for a while, and they'll buy. I do not see that. You have to realize they get used to the Ubers, the lifestyle. Downtown environments are a lifestyle. Yes, after they have their first or second kid, sometimes the schools are an issue because they can't afford the private schools because the public schools aren't good. You're going to always have that, but there is absolutely no way. I'm telling you, no way. Our city's expanding. You know, Fishtown has become New York's 6th or 7th borough. How many boroughs you have in New York?
I think we have 5 today.
Well, yeah. So they call Fishtown the 6th borough because we have so many New Yorkers, and we're going to be taking more of yours. We get tons of New Yorkers, and we get tons of people from Washington D.C. because we're still a little more affordable.
From a train standpoint, you can get to New York or DC very easy from Philly. So I mean, it's nice in between.
Yeah, and Philly's a great city, man. And our sport teams, we're competitors, man.
Easy with the Philadelphia sport teams. Come on, your Phillies have nothing on my Mets, Mike. Nothing on my Mets. My brother actually works for Jefferson Health there in downtown Philly.
Okay, well that's right in my market. That's like a couple blocks from my office. And
it's good.
Yeah,
good.
Jefferson's awesome.
Yeah,
Jefferson's
great downtown.
world class. Philadelphia is a world class medical environment. Trust me.
Yeah.
And you don't realize how much big university is. But our big business is tourism. Well, guess what? That's really hurt, with this thing. And restaurants, big business, and the hotels. So there's a lot of things that are going to take a while to come back. But people need housing, and as long as the inventory stays low, and when these jobs, the jobs will fill back up. I'm telling you, even the restaurants that go out,
they won't come back.
I have friends that worked their butt off in restaurants for 15 years, and they could lose everything. And that's terrible, terrible. But just say they go under. Someone's going to come in and buy that restaurant and employ those people again. Yeah. So
it's just going to turn over. So I got a couple of questions here worth touching on. Are you good with time, or do you have some worse?
I'm good. I'm good. Now, somebody just popped in my house.
It's all good. I got a couple of questions here. I see someone asked a team question. We haven't done a whole lot of team questions, but I think it's worthwhile. What are some of the expectations you set on members joining the Mike McCann team? Do you have some minimum expectations, some goals that you expect from them?
Yeah. Well, okay. And let me just talk about my team. One of the key things that I am proud of is my team is with me for life, typically. I have assistants 22 years, 17 years, 19 years. More than half of my agents have been with me between 10 and 20 years. They bought me an album, The Hotel California, and framed it because there's a song on there. It's such a lovely place, but you can never leave. So the key thing that you can invest in this business, you could buy mailings, you could buy Zillow, you could do this fancy marketing. The key investment is in the people who you surround yourself with. So it's very difficult to get on my team. And I do have 7 full-time support and 20 agents who are on my team right now. More than 10 have been with me 10 to 20 years of the agents. But I have to bring the young people in. So we have a nice mixture of 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and I'm 60. I'm the oldest dude on the team. But so we have a good mixture. And so who you hire, the first thing, if you're an agent, the first thing you want to do is you want to hire a great administrative assistant. So I did it early on before there were teams, before it was popular. I hired my first assistant in 1989-90. Okay. But what I was scared to death. What I did was I saved up 3 months of pay, put it in the bank, and then I hired somebody. And I said, I have a 3-month job. I'm hoping it becomes a lifetime job or a year job, but I only have 3 months of pay. And I started to turn it over. And we had developed a checklist system. And so that year, and people said to me, Mike, you're a control freak. You're never going to be able to delegate. And I basically said that I only was a control freak because I was the only one doing it.
Right.
Alan Dom, one of the top agents in the world in 1987, he's a condo king, told me in a class at Temple Real Estate Institute, he said, Mike, if you don't have an assistant, you are an assistant.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was what got me to do that. So that back then, you know, I had sold 80 homes in 1988. 90 homes in 1988. You got 50% commission, and my average price was $43,000. So I made like 45 grand. I got a wife and 2 children. So I'm going to hire an assistant. So that's why I saved that money. I made an extra 40 grand that year, 1990, that I hired that assistant. And the key thing was I didn't have to do the things I didn't want to do.
Right.
What do I want to do? I want to be in front of people and capture people. I'm sales. My support person is details. So any top CEO in the world or any great real estate will have a key core person. Then in 92, I hired a second one. Then in 95, 96, buyer agency came out. And I said, you know what? I'm doing great. I'm the number 1 agent. I started to make pretty good money. I switched to Prudential in 92 and I started to get 70% commission. That was all new, you know, now.
92, that was early to get 70% though, right?
Craig Millard had started it, this guy who acquired the Prudential preferred property. I was ready to open my own company. He said, Mike, no, come work for me. Build a company. I'll give you 70% and I'll even get you up to 80%. So I interviewed all these other brokers and they said, Mike, if I had the chance to do that, instead of opening and having the responsibility of a brokerage, I wouldn't have to pay rent. I could build a team, and a team, I'm going to get 70 or 80%. I would do it. So he was the one so I was very early in the team before teams were out there. So I had 2 assistants. And so in 95, 96, I said, I don't want to be successful and my kids and wife not know me. So I hired a buyer's agent in 96. I said, you're going to work Saturdays. You're going to work all the time, but you're going to work I'm not working Saturdays. So I stopped working Saturdays in 96. And in 2000 or 99, 2000, I stopped working Sundays. Nice. I hired another 2 more assistants. So I had this great success as a residential real estate agent, not meeting clients on Saturdays, and by 99, 2000 on Sundays. Now I was still negotiating deals, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But
you're just not in the car.
So then I would turn the buyer over to me. But I didn't hire until I had so much business to give people. So the best thing you can do is hire great support staff. Then, and they have to be details, not a failed salesperson. The last 4
big difference. I want to clarify that. They've got to be detail oriented, not someone that just couldn't sell real estate. Great point.
Yeah. The last 4 or 5 I learned, and I started this even when I was with Berkshire before I came to Keller Williams. I hired this woman from Keller Williams, Lindsay Caprani. She has a recruiting company, and they do those tests and they interview them. And man, nothing better than having a professional recruiter. It was like $2,000, but they did all the screening and bought me qualified people. So then my wife and I would review them on YouTube, and then we would have them come in. Those assistants have been great. So now I hire up a little bit instead of just somebody that just, fax and copy, or there's no fax anymore, but just do minimum tasks. So I hire up a little bit now. With agents, I only hire, I have these 20, 30, $40 million producers who want to join my team. I don't bring them on. I like to hire people that are new to 1 year in the business. And I can coach them my way. And also, I want people that kick up the core Keller values: God, family, work, in that order. I want people that need to make a living, that want to grow personally, that want to grow professionally, and that are going to, who are good. They're not going to be chatty or controversial. So it's very important to have that same chemistry. Our team, this is the most proudest thing I am, is the envy of the industry. I have people waiting years and years to get on my team. Wow. And I only hire when my agents can't handle all the business that we're generating. I love growing the agents on my team, coming from nothing to going up and up and up to doing very, 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 very well.
Hence why they've been with you. So many of them for so long. 10 people, more than 10 years. So I hear the loyalty in the relationship you have with your people and the trust. And I hear you say you never overpromise and underdeliver. So that move from Prudential to Keller Williams was a pretty big decision for you.
Very off the charts, very, very big. And my team didn't know until 36 hours before the move. So when you leave a national company like that, they keep your commissions, they keep your listings. You know, it's insane. It's insane. But here you go. In '05, I'm the number one agent in the world for Prudential. I was '03, '04, '05. Like 2001, 2, I was like 3 or 4, and then by like 03 or 04, I was number 1, and it continued. In '05, I could have had the Keller franchise in downtown Philadelphia. They came, they weren't in the market yet, and I'm like, why am I going to do that? I don't need to do that. I'm doing great. We're doing great. There's no need to. And I'm like, why would I kick a gift horse in the mouth? So the downturn happens in '08. Everything goes down. As the reemergence of the 12, 13, when the market started to come back, I saw that shift in Keller Williams. I saw that shift in the agents that had gone to Keller Williams. I saw that growth. I saw that spirit.
Yeah, the energy.
That energy. And I thought, man, if I was a new agent, I'd probably go there. But I'm not going to go there. So as agents were leaving, in our company, regionally, nationally, because I knew all the top agents nationally, I'd be like, those traders, I can't believe they're leaving, let them drink the Kool-Aid. The Ponzi scheme.
The pyramid scheme that they have over there.
Yeah. So I made fun. I made fun of all that. But each year inside, I'm like, so by 14 or 15, when agents would come to me, like a lot of people come to me, new agents, like, I want to join your team. I would say, you can't join my team, but come to the company. I'll help you out. I'll give you open houses. I'll be a mentor, but my team is very limited. Right. But by 14, 15, I would tell people, you can come and interview with our company, but if I were a brand new person, I'd probably interview with Keller Williams. I believe that's the way of the future. And then by 17, 18, I said, you know what? I got to do what's best for my team. So let me just back up. When you're married, that's a serious decision. When you have a child, that's a serious thing. Once you have a child, you realize that your life is no longer the most important thing. Your child's life is. Mm-hmm. That's how I am with my team. I will protect my team.
The family.
So I thought, where is the best place for the next? I saw the artificial intelligence. I saw the compasses. I saw the Zillow, the Redfin. I see the industry changing. I saw this leader in Gary Keller. I saw the growth of the company. I saw the growth of the people. So I saw the action, and I couldn't deny it any longer. So I saw him protecting what's going to be good for the next 2, 5, 10, 20, 30 years, what I believe is going to be good.
At that time, he was the only guy fighting for the realtor, right?
That is correct. He's the realtor fighting for the realtors so that we don't lose our role. And he reminded me of me. That's how I am for my team. That's why my team out-successes everybody, and my individual agents out-success everybody. So I just said, I have to do this. So I watched his blogs, went down, met with him, and then 36 hours before, I told my team. So we're in a room. There's 26 of us at that time. They said half of them, some of them cried, some of them were with joy, and so about a third were like they couldn't believe it. So they all had 24 hours to make a decision. Within 36 hours, we were going in there. Everyone came except for one. We're in the Keller office. Keller helps us with support, helps us get acclimated to this friggin' dot loop, because we use green sheets, all that stuff. So they supported us big time.
Nice.
But about 3 weeks in, and I've said this before, if anybody heard me speak, but I'll never forget it. About 3 weeks in, my support staff says, Mike. I said, what? They said, we know why you left now. I'm like, what do you mean? Of course, I told you why I left. They go, no. We feel like we left a funeral and we were at a wedding. Wow. The energy in here is unbelievable. And that's the way that it is. I personally feel like I'm brand new. I have so much to learn. I'm a year and 3 months in, and there's so much I want to learn. The training, the education, the cooperation, the spirit. Everybody is helping everybody. everybody's committed to growing this company. Everybody's committed to growing each other. Let me just tell you what, not just real estate, very few companies are the way that this company is, man.
So
And,
is it safe to say, I don't put words in your mouth, is it safe to say you're happy with the decision you made?
Oh, dude, let me just tell you what, it's even more, yes, 100%, 110%, but it's even more evident in this downturn. Do you see how the leadership stepped up? The middle people, the local people, everybody has stepped up to support, help, coach, get us through it. It's unprecedented, absolutely. So it becomes more evident when you're with a stronger company. Yeah, it's like anybody can be a friend with someone when everything's going good. You find out who your friends are in difficult times.
Yep,
you find out what kind of companies you have in difficult times. Keller is here for life. Keller is only going to grow. And the people who can't understand this are people that haven't been other places other than Keller, or haven't or not at Keller. But if you've been around 3.5 decades like me, I could own my own company. I could go to any company. I was offered all kinds of insane things at company. You can really appreciate what this has. Now, this is not a babysitting company. You just want to sell real estate and just show up.
Right.
You can go anywhere.
Lots of choices.
If you want to grow a business, you want to become a better person, you want to be inspired by other people, this is the company. And it's not just monetary. That's what I love about it. It's family, man. It's God, it's country, it's hard, it's helping each other out. It really, really is, man. You could call it a cult, but you know what? It's not a cult. It's I choose to have positive people in my life, positive experience, positive growth. If you're not going forward, you're going backward. And that's what, and so everything that I did my 30 years before coming to Keller really is a lot like Keller. You're not as, listen, I wish I had this playbook, Keller's playbook, when I first got into business. It would have been unbelievable. It would have been even more unbelievable. I don't regret anything. But one more thing, and I'll shut up. I know I ramble.
No, I love it, Mike. I love it.
Yeah, but it's like, I love to play ping pong. I don't want to play ping pong with people whose butts I'm kicking all the time.
Right.
I want to play ping pong with people who are better than me because I want to challenge. I want to have fun. Now that I'm at Keller, instead of me, the gap at that other company, I was like up here. Nobody was even close.
In order to learn from.
Yeah, I couldn't learn from anybody. But now I'm 25, 50. I don't know what number I am. I'm not Ben Kinney. I'm not Bob Lasita. I'm not. There's so many people. But even the young people, I see guys in the business 3 to 5 years. I'm like, man, they are running a business. I wasn't doing that. These young people are just like doing 30, 40 million. I'm like, dude, I think I was 20 years in business before I did 30 million. I mean, anyway.
And they come in and they talk. Speaking of successful people, Sue Adler's on the call today. She just wanted to say hello and she loves your energy. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, she's awesome.
So
that is someone who is awesome, who I knew before I came to Keller, and my guy had me copy her website, okay?
You did not tell me that story. But I don't want to take up too much of your time. I've got a funny question, then I'm going to ask you your last thoughts. We're talking about the recovery and how long this is going to last. How long is it going to take the Philadelphia Eagles to recover?
Oh, man. We always think we're going to win the Super Bowl every year. So they're going to win the Super Bowl next year, man.
Thanks to Seth Levin, I think, asked that question. Mike, I appreciate the amazing time you spent with us. Say, what final thought would you like to leave our people with today?
Are there any questions?
I've been hitting them a little bit as we go. I think things I didn't specifically ask you were some of the tactics and strategies that you're using to gain market share right now. But I think I heard you say the video, the phone calls, the Zoom, anything specific.
So if I'm a newer agent or I'm an experienced team, the key thing I'm going to tell people is, as soon as we're allowed back out, go after expired and withdrawn listings. Mm-hmm. That was where I made my niche when I wasn't known. I was with a company no one knew. There's going to be a ton of those. Go back a year and go, hey, I saw you wanted to sell last year. Well, the market's back. Do you want to sell? So I would go after those people because that's a ready market. You knew that they were sellers at one point. You know what the price is. You know what. So that's where I made my growth early on is expired. So going after expired is going to be a great business. Yes, since I came to Cal, we've been doing the 33 touch system and we're learning that more and more. So go after your past clients, but go after people that were on the market before. If you go back 2 years, you're going to see a lot of business from that, and tell people it's okay to sell real estate today.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is you can't do everything. You have to just pick one or two things. So, my team and I were listening to all these Zooms. We're doing all these trainings. But if we just learn it and we don't implement anything, so just implement one thing, get it up and going, and then do the next thing. Like Gary's book, the one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I call it the 30 things. I have to do 30 things at a time. No, but that was a great book. I was like, oh my God. But you have to do something. With this downturn, what we're still doing is getting our inventory, our mailing list together, our contacts all together, much organized. Calling ones we haven't called forever.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing that, organizing that. Cut your expenses on things that weren't working, but don't discount. I've picked up some additional expenses in a downturn because I've saved, because I've been through downturns. I tell my team, I'm not laying anybody off. As a matter of fact, we're going to increase mailings. We're going to increase. So I'm not cutting back. Do not cut back other than things that weren't working. And personally and business-wise, you do have to watch your expenses right now. But this is the best business in the world, and there are always ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's whether it's long-term. But the ones that survive, I'm telling you, if you will grow. That's the thing. You will grow. So anyway.
I've heard Gary and Jay and others say the mind share you're gaining today is going to be market share later. I just heard you say you increased some of your marketing in order to make yourself more visible in the consumer's eyes, because a lot of people are pulling back.
Yeah, and listen, social media is free. Yeah, yes, you can do paid posts on Instagram, but if you don't have a great Instagram account, that's where all the young people are going. You need to be on Instagram. You don't have a great Facebook account, you need to be on there. That's more people. It seems it's shifting more people my age, but I get tons of business from those free things. And we do paid posts and stuff like that. And now we're running it through Command. So that's the other thing we're working on, Command, because we were a big team. We couldn't adapt to Command. So we're working on.
Let me ask you, I always hear this. People say it. Do you think Command's at the point where it could support your team?
That's what we're hoping. I don't believe it's fully there, but we're taking pieces of it and learning it more. Hopefully it will. It's the way to go. I mean, it's the way to go. And I'm hearing positive things, but we dove into it when we first came, and then it wasn't supporting all of us, so we backed out. So now we're diving back into it now that we have time to do that. But real estate is about getting out there consistently, responding fast, communicating, being the expert in your marketplace. Like I just had getting free publicity. I did something in the local paper with one of my properties. Being the expert in the business and just constantly being out there. I'm not a big one on saying and asking. My business has always been attraction. So I'm out there marketing, and then people call me. I'm not great at calling, hey, Mary, do you want to sell your house? I'm not the best at that, to be very brutal. But I do great postcards. I do great social media. I do great mailings. I do great videos. And that goes out to a lot of people consistently. So I get referrals from a lot of people that don't know me. A unique marketing position. That tacky, silly Mike McCann, the real estate man, that's all over my signs.
Yeah,
I can't tell you how much business. So give yourself a unique marketing position. Patient persistence overcomes resistance. There's nothing more than patiently, persistently overcoming it. And the last thing is, in downturns like this is where I have seen the biggest, and I hate to say this because I want everyone to do good, but I've seen the biggest wealth developed over downturns. The people that were buying real estate 1990 to 1996, when it was down 30 to 50%, became not millionaires, tens of millionaires when no one else was buying real estate, because you had the RTC. People, you could have bought condos for 30 grand that are now 400. buildings for 200 that are now worth $1.5 million. So, and that's what I'm doing right now. There's a couple opportunities that came to me that I'm working on right now in a downturn, which I'm hoping someday I'll come back on and be, during that downturn, this is what we did, man. Oh, that's a great story.
Yeah. Well, and Gary has said it. One today is going to be $6 about 4 or 5 months from now. And that's actually a perfect segue into tomorrow. So for those on the call, our guest tomorrow is actually Mike Brody, who's going to talk about how you can build and develop wealth during times like this. So,
but buy real estate. I'm just telling you, buy real estate. That's the goal on our team. My agents are encouraged to buy one property a year because you you make money selling real estate. You build wealth owning real estate. So, quick example is the stock market could have crashed, and maybe my properties went down and they didn't go down a little bit. I'm still getting my rents. Even with this thing, I'm still getting my rents. So that's a solid foundation that I could have been retired on 10 years ago. Our goal was to buy one property a year, get a 15-year loan, and have it paid off. And each year, so by the time you're 50, you own 40 or 50 homes. So if you're not investing in real estate, do that, and then you can talk to investors better.
Awesome. Mike McCann, you're awesome. Guys, if you have referrals going down the greater Philadelphia area, there's only one name you need to know, only one person you need to call. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your info. Emily posted his Instagram account in the chat window. So make sure you go to that, you connect with him so you can see some of the things that he's doing.
I post my Facebook too. I'm more active on that. It's funny. I go on Instagram, but my marketing person is doing more because she's 26. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't get Instagram because it's just this flash thing where Facebook has more details. Man.
Well, we'll post your Facebook link too. So a couple of links you guys need to know in the chat window. You'll have his Facebook link. There it is. Emily's also posting a link to a Google Doc. This Google Doc is going to give you our new Zoom channels as well as a copy of all the videos we've done so far. So if you go and request permission for that, you can see every video interview we've done the last 4 weeks. Mike, this one was actually the most fun. So I appreciate your energy.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on. Stay healthy, man.
You got it. And we finish all of we start our meetings with music. You missed it, but we played Philadelphia. What's that called? Philadelphia?
Philadelphia. No, my Rocky. Yeah, I like Rocky. Come on, Rocky.
Next time you're having the call, we're going to play Rocky. And we're ending the call with a little bit of humor. We always end the call with a funny video. So feel free to stay on and check out the video. If you got to run, I totally get it, Mike. You're awesome.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon. Emily, what do we got?